A la verga. Mira, ¿por qué?
Vaya, saca feria, perro. Saca feria. Saca feria.
A la verga.
Saca una feria, güey.
Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Millennial Smark, and I'm bringing you the slop, the whole slop, and nothing but the slop. Sorry for the back-to-back uploads. I'm really trying to, limit that as much as I possibly can, but I can't help it. I can't hold on to this any longer. I mean, I hate people who constantly put themselves or whatever they're doing on the pedestal. You let your work speak for yourself, and when you run your mouth and things don't happen as you planned it to be when you ran your mouth, I just like to shove it back in your fucking face. So, check it out real quick. Link is down in the description box below. Talks for AEW Shockwave on Fox fell through after months of silence. For months, fans have been waiting to see if AEW will launch a new show called AEW Shockwave on Fox. However, there had not been any update about the show for months, and now it appears that the deal has fallen through. While speaking on the hump, wow, that's a suspect ass name, Sean Ross Sapp was asked about the status of AEW Shockwave and whether it was still happening after months of silence. He explained that it was only a pitch and a theory rather than a concrete plan. While the idea was brought up, no deal was ever reached and it ultimately fell through. And I quote, "It was only a pitch and a theory, it was never a concrete plan, so to speak. It was something that they brought up, but no deal was ever reached. It ended up falling through and just didn't work out," end quote. While AEW previously filed a trademark for AEW Shockwave, and Swerve Strickland even hinted at AEW possibly having a presence on Fox, there was simply no indication that the show was ever going to see the light of day. And I find that kind of funny that this article went out of his way to mention Swerve Strickland, because that's going to be our next subject in regards to this entire topic, because Swerve Strickland, he made a bit of an oopsie in hindsight, right? So we're going to go back in memory. We're going to do a throwback, all right? Because I made a video on this back in, a little bit after All In, when Swerve lost his world championship. It was around that time frame, okay? And Swerve Strickland, he talked a lot of shit, and let's just say he had no tissue around to wipe it all up. So check this out. Trip down memory lane about 6 or 7 months ago. Swerve Strickland recorded saying AEW was taking WWE SmackDown's place on Fox. The wrestling world continues to wait for the official announcement of AEW's next TV deal, but former AEW World Champion Swerve Strickland may have let a fairly massive cat out of the bag. Sorry, that was adding away when I read that. Regardless, though, continuing on. On Friday, YouTube entertainer Trevor what is with these suspect ass names? Queensflip? Why would you name yourself? Trevor Queensflip Robinson released a video of himself walking around Coney Island SneakerCon. About 16 minutes in, he's shown encountering Strickland. And in the middle of that conversation, Strickland began speaking about AEW's future and expressed his excitement for a potential network move. And I quote, "We about to get on Fox," Strickland said. "SmackDown's leaving Fox, and we're taking Fox, TNT, TBS, and Fox. We got all three of them things." He got all three of them things. All three of them things. Hell yeah, boy. It's unclear whether Strickland was aware he was being recorded. Strangely, Strickland's acquaintances are carrying what appears to be the AEW World Championship, or possibly a replica. Robinson briefly holds the belt and comments on its weight. Moreover, Strickland refers to himself as the AEW World Champion, even though, SneakerCon took place on September 21st or the 22nd, almost a month after Strickland lost the title to Bryan Danielson in Wembley Stadium, an event Strickland references. Rumors of AEW potentially getting a show on Fox in the wake of SmackDown's departure began flying earlier this month after a report from Fightful Select, though the idea dates back to at least September 2023, when SmackDown's impending move back to the USA Network was announced. Nor were the waters calmed when that's the loser that had the chat room, right? With people talking shit about the wrestlers. Of wrestle purists claimed to have heard whispers of a new show called, and I quote, AEW Shockwave. a term AEW recently trademarked that will air on FS1. Strickland's comment to Robinson, however, seemed to expressly indicate AEW getting the time slot on Fox Network television. At the time of writing this article right here, at the time of writing, a deal between AEW and Warner Brothers Discovery has been reported to be in its final stages. Details on any potential collaboration between AEW and Fox remain unconfirmed. So, at least it backs up Sean Ross Sapp's claim. I don't have to like the guy, but in regards to the reporting, at least it backs it up that it doesn't really seem like anything was concrete or anything was really solid. And it just puts AEW in a bind. And it also embarrasses the shit out of them when someone like a Swerve Strickland comes out of his way and runs his stupid fucking mouth in order to spill the beans. But there ain't no beans in them fucking cans. Now, honestly, to be fair, I'm kind of happy that this isn't happening because they don't need any more television shows. In fact, hell, I'll even say it for WWE. I wish they can just limit themselves to just Raw and SmackDown, just put like a regular pre-show on the weekend and just keep it at that. Like nothing. I'm tired of it. NXT goes right back to the network and you keep it there so people could be actually surprised when we get some call-ups for a damn change, and it feels more like an underground presence, and it kind of gets back to its original nature as to what it was typically intended for, which was nothing more than being the minor leagues or college and then you be drafted to the main roster. I miss that concept of NXT, and honestly, they can, typically, in my opinion, they can exploit that in order to make their own draft, legitimate draft. And then I've been saying this for the longest, that I would love to see that, where like you have trades between Raw and SmackDown happening at WrestleMania, and then you do that like in April or March, and then September or October, which is typically their season premiere, in the beginning of the fall, you can actually, in my opinion, you can actually have a legitimate draft where you draft superstars from NXT. I think that'd be actually really, really cool. But I feel like that concept only reaches, or you can take it to its fullest extent if you put NXT back on the network and you keep Raw and SmackDown as the two primary brands, and then you do like a regular pre-show, like a Sunday Night Heat or a Velocity or a main event on the weekend for people to watch and keep up with while they recap Raw and SmackDown and give you some cool superstars who could probably go from NXT and fight some of the superstars on Raw and SmackDown on the undercard. I've been saying this for the longest, but obviously that's not the case, and I wish AEW would do even, less than that, because they are not established and they don't have anything going for them. I wish they can strictly just straight up, just dynamite. I won't even mind bringing back Dark Elevation or Dark in general and keeping it strictly on YouTube. Get rid of Collision. Get rid of like 50% of your entire roster. Keep it very, very low so people can actually relate to some of these damn characters. Get rid of all the championship belts. Keep one of the 3 mid-card belts. Keep a tag team championship. Get rid of the 6-man tag team championship. Keep one of the women's championship belts. Obviously the world championship for the women. And then you keep the world championship belt in itself. Break that shit down. Limit it. Please, for the love of God, limit professional wrestling. No one needs to see all this wrestling when it's in the worst time period it's ever been in regards to popularity and creativity. But that's besides the point. Swervey McSwerve. And honestly, this kind of broadens out a little bit when it comes to some of the wrestlers who want to run to the dirt sheets. It extends to them also, but more so just the wrestlers who can't just keep their fucking mouth shut. Unfortunately, when you kind of run your fucking mouth and things don't quite go according to plan, maybe, just maybe seem a little bit, less braggadocious. Maybe, just maybe don't lay all your cards on just the guest or on a whim. Because you don't just make yourself look stupid. No. You go even further and you make your company look stupid. Because you laid it out on the table. You laid it out on the line. You said that this was going to be something that was going to happen. You bragged about it. You even said that they were going to take the place of WWE on Fox. See, once again, evoking the name of WWE. See, you're so clouded. You guys are so clouded with worrying about WWE. Now, mind you, you're talking about the tribalism between the fans, this and the fans that. That's the fans. We're marks. We're not on the inside. We're not backstage. You don't get paid for doing this. At least most of us don't. It's you guys. How many times I'm going to tell you guys this, okay? And I'm not talking about AEW. They're a lost cause. I'm talking about the fans who constantly say things such as AEW, they're pushing up young talent. AEW, they're doing such a great job signing talent left and right. Oh my God, they're establishing so many people. The AEW dick suckers, Vaseline all over their lips. And probably their assholes also, because let me be the one to fuck you real quick. Guys, worry about yourselves. Stop worrying about chasing WWE. No matter how much you chase them, they are distant. They are distant, okay? If this was a race, right? Let's just say this was NASCAR, right? Or put this more into terms for some of the younger fans to understand. Let's say this is Need for Speed, okay? Let's say this is Gran Turismo, if you will, okay? And this was, say, for an example, let's say, first person to 1,000, right? Got to do 1,000 laps, all right? Let's just say WWE right about now is about 1,020. They finished already. And AEW, you're still at about 100. Now, granted, you may be second, but you're on your 100th lap. WWE, they finished. They're just kind of lapping just for the sake of lapping right about now. You are never, ever gonna go full Chris Jericho on you. You're never gonna catch up with WWE. It's over. What you need to do is focus on your own identity. And you still can't do that because this is months ago and you were still talking about WWE as time went on. So you didn't even care so much about the deal. You heard Swerve Strickland? Have you heard Swerve Strickland? I did that video a couple of months ago, and I think I had him on the intro talking about this with his football jersey shirt on or whatever. Did you hear how cocky he sound? Did you hear how arrogant he sound? You know, the more and more I hear Swerve Strickland talk, especially, I can't think of a better timing, hearing how he came off on the Vlad interview and the Triple H racism allegations, oh, we don't see color. Even though every black person that talks about you consistently looks at how you're so backwards and forwards and wishy-washy with how you consider yourself black in professional wrestling. See, I'm one of the people that tells you all the time, Swerve, or anybody in Swerve's position, you did that for yourself. No black person helped you. You didn't help any black person out. You helped your life out. You. That's it. Meritocracy. Doesn't matter about your skin color. Okay? And you shouldn't be giving anybody, the black community, the white community, the Haitian community, the nation community, the Spanish community, the Wambulance community, you shouldn't be giving anybody credit for what the fuck you personally achieved. Because when you don't achieve something, where the fuck are they to take credit for that? Exactly. But here you are doing the wishy-washy, oh, black people, racism, WWE, Triple H, my problems. It seems like you have like a vendetta against WWE right about now. So is that what it is? Is that what it is, man? Like, man, they didn't, Vince McMahon and Triple H, they didn't do enough to put me on a perch, and now I feel myself, I gotta prove myself, and then I proved myself, and now I feel like I gotta throw it back in their face because they didn't believe in me. Get that out of your mind, bro. You know, somebody else who was in a similar position like you, technically speaking, was someone, obviously, you're nowhere near close to the star power, but a Stone Cold Steve Austin was in the same position you were in, Swerve. All right, now maybe they didn't do you as dirty as they did Austin, but you were still in a similar position, all right? You had someone like a Stone Cold Steve Austin who was doing his thing in WCW, had a bit of an injury, got fired via FedEx, and he felt like he needed to prove himself. He felt like, hey, man, you bringing all these guys from WWE to take my spot? Let me go to WWE. Obviously a detour in ECW, but when it was all said and done, WWE, and let me throw it back in your face when I become the leader of this new generation. Attitude Era, don't get it confused. And I'm just gonna throw it back in your face. And everybody who did me dirty in WCW, bringing in the new stars, really the old stars from WWE, let me show you how they step up to the plate when I'm at the fucking base. That's what Stone Cold Steve Austin did. You know what he did? He won. They won. He became the biggest wrestler of all time. And do you see him, even in his heyday, talking about WCW this, WCW that? No, I mean, typically, but that was mainly when it was provoked and questioned, such as in the interviews. Never do you see Stone Cold Steve Austin having to, sure himself up by going, and I told you so, I told you so, I told you so. No. He lets you know what was going on at the time, what he did, what he felt was valued of him, and hey, he let his actions speak. Whereas you have Swerve here, and it feels like, again, you go back to the Vlad TV interview, you hear him talk right here, it feels like he's not even putting over Shockwave. You heard what he said prior to all that, right? With WWE being kicked off of Fox and all that. What was the meaning of talking about WWE being kicked off of Fox, Swerve? Like, that seems like that was so random. It could have just simply been, hey man, we got an opportunity. Look at us right here. And you were kind of doing that. And then you just had to swerve. You had to swerve off the conversation and you had to bring up WWE again, bro. Again, bro. It feels like you got a vendetta. I mean, you in AEW right now. You're a former world champion. Hell, you about to go after Jon Moxley again next week. What's the problem? What's the deal? They in the rear view, right? No? Maybe so. I'm not sure. But this constant going after W. Then again, it's not just him. It's a lot of AEW superstars, and that's when Tony Khan should probably step in. Because something tells me I wouldn't be shocked if when Swerve actually said what he said, you don't think Tony Khan was probably backstage after he heard it? You know his ears is glued to everything wrestling related. You might not know that as far as his actual feelings and emotion, but I guarantee you Tony Khan has his ears about as close to Twitter and Instagram and anything dealing with social media, talking about professional wrestling as I do when it comes to my channel. I bet my life Tony keeps up more with that than the guy who actually has to, do it for a hobby in regards to his actual channel and what his identity is about. And if you don't believe Swerve said that and Tony wasn't doing the best parody of Boys in the Hood with Trey in the room and throwing punches at goddamn motherfucking cops, motherfucking Swerve Strickly run his stupid ass mouth, motherfucker, they'll beat your motherfucking ass. Only difference is Trey got pussy and, Tony's a pussy, so there you go with that, right? You don't think Tony was doing that? Rein them in, Tony. Pull out that fishing pole and rev them in, bruh. Why you got your fishes out there sinking and swimming without your influence? I mean, is RVD correct? Are the inmates running the asylum right now? Like, what you doing, bruh? Now you look like a dope. Now you look like an idiot. You got your wrestlers going out there talking to people like Sean Ross Sapp. You got your wrestlers running around, spilling your pins, your plans, and, letting them know your info. Nobody should have even known what the fuck a shockwave was. No one should have even known this. But you're so careless and you're so busy, worried about other things. Man, bro. You let someone just put your shit out there like that, it ends up being a failure, and it wasn't even meant for it to be out there like that, and now you gotta hold another L as far as your public perception with the rest of the people outside of your fan base. Ooh, man, you making so much strides, making sure everybody feels happy in the wrestling community, bro. I like you, Tony. You the kind of person to fall down, get back up, fall again, get back up, fall again, get back up, fall again, get back up. Damn, bro, you something special. You something special. I like that. I like that quality when someone can fall down and get back up again. It's like that Chumbawamba song. Remember that? I get knocked down and I get up again. It's about as repetitive as that too. The only problem though is typically I like it when people get back up, typically by themselves and walk the other direction because they learn from their mistake. Not getting back up with a helping hand, being your money, your dad's money at that, and still walking down that same path, thinking that he's going to succeed doing the exact same walking patterns that he was doing previously that made him fall a bunch of times. That I don't really respect. That I call being batshit crazy. To fail over and over and over again and do the exact same thing, hoping for a change. That is the definition of fucking insane. And you're insane, obviously, Tony. All your wrestlers in the company, all your sickos. I mean, fuck, you named them sickos, not me. Hey, brand yourself, right? Let this be a lesson, Swerve. Let this be a lesson, Tony. That's the sound of zipping that fucking thing you call a mouth. And not unzipping it unless someone comes and unzips it for you. And by that point, you should know what to say. It's like almost being interrogated. Okay, I need a lawyer right away. I need a lawyer, someone to defend me. You have a job and people have job to do your job for you. As far as speaking, that's called PR. And if it's not you and if your dumbass wrestlers do it, then you better keep them in check real quick. Because you don't need any more hits to your public perception, Tony. You don't need any more hits to the public perception of AEW. You're already a distant second. Why fall back even further? But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Again, it kind of sucks a little tiny bit to see another wrestling company fail at something that it wanted to provide for the wrestling universe. But goddamn it, I can't lie. I can't sit here and lie. It feels so much better. The positive kind of outweighs the negative when I get to see someone run their stupid dick lips and get put in their place because of their arrogance. That definitely outweighs what I said previously. But maybe it doesn't for you, and maybe you want to cry about it. So therefore, go in the comment section and wipe your tears on your phone. Hopefully you don't short circuit it. As always, my name is Devontae, aka Millennial Smart, and I'll be catching you fine folks later. Deuces and P. Eyes.